Let's have a quality start. According to our MLB insider, Andy Martino, the hope and expectation of those involved is that Craig Counsell will decide on his future over the next several days. Counsell is a known candidate with the Mets as well as Cleveland, and of course, he still could return to Milwaukee. Speaking of Milwaukee, there was a report last night from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel saying that if the Brewers match the top offer for Counsell, he'll almost certainly stay in Milwaukee. I was a little surprised by that. Harp, how are we feeling about the latest reports?
Well, I'll tell you, Steve Cohen's not going to want to hear that. We know he does not like to be played. We saw how angry he got after the whole Steven Matz thing, which turned out to be a blessing for the Mets. He felt like he reneged on an offer or whatever. So I think he's going to have to get, he's going to have to be particular in the way he goes about this with Counsell. If he's going to make him a big offer, it's going to be one of those deals where he's probably going to have to present him and say, hey, look, I need an answer, yes or no. He's not going to let him take it back to Milwaukee and have it matched. That being said, I can't see Milwaukee matching him if he's going to offer him something like $7 million a year, which is possible that Milwaukee would match that. So I still think he's the guy. It just feels like he's got to be the guy. I mean, there's no obvious candidates that that stand out. I mean, not necessarily that stand out, but he seems to be the head and shoulders guy to be their first choice.
Yeah, I don't think money is going to be the deciding factor here. I think that if the Mets want to get Craig Counsell in there, they're going to get it done. And so I've kind of already mentally prepared for the idea that Craig Counsell is managing the Mets next year. Obviously, hasn't been done yet, but I can just see it. I can envision. You think back to his time as a player. He was always a leader in the clubhouses he was in, going back to the Arizona Diamondbacks in 2001. I can just picture him there. He just seems like the kind of guy that you want to prop up there and have be one of the spokespeople and faces of your franchise. So it seems like a good fit to me.
My issue is that if Counsell is just looking for the most money, which, by the way, is his right, and that's fine. I'm not knocking him for wanting the most money, but this is New York. This is a different animal. You want to be here, or you just chasing the paycheck? Because if you want to be here, you're going to get paid in accordance with it, but there's going to be pressure, and you got to be able to make sure you go out there and win and deal with the media and all those different things. If he's just looking to get the highest amount, Harp.
Yeah, I know that's definitely an issue, but we don't know where this is coming from exactly either. So who knows? Look, I've heard from somebody that knows him well that he wants to win championships. And that's part of his motivation as well, which sounds a lot more appealing to the Mets fan base for sure. But you're right. You don't want the money to be the issue why you're coming or you're not coming. Either you want to go to New York, manage in a big spot, because he's never been around in New York in a big spot in a big market as a player or a manager. So that's the one thing you don't know about him.
Right. I guess the best way to say it would be if it feels like he wants to be in Milwaukee, but will only come to the Mets if it's significantly more money, then it's the wrong move for the Mets to make. If his heart's in Milwaukee, let him stay there. Let's make the call to the bullpen and welcome in Britt Ghiroli. What do you make, Britt, of the latest reports about Craig Counsell?
Well, guys, you forgot to mention the elephant in the room. That's $7 million in Milwaukee. You could probably own the city of Milwaukee, right?
That's a good point.
It costs just a little bit more to live in New York. Not
probably
that Craig
get a studio
Counsell is
here.
with exactly. Not that he's going to be counting pennies either way. But, guys, I think people, what they miss about Craig Counsell in talking to people who are close to him is not just is it about he lives in Milwaukee year-round. His kids are in the area. They go to college in the area. He feels like he's built a solid foundation, and he feels like the Milwaukee organization has been good. It's been a good place to work for. It's been a good ecosystem. I think when you look at the Mets from afar as an outsider, there is some trepidation. You're not sure what you're going to get with the owner and Steve Cohen. You're not sure what it's going to be like in New York dealing with that kind of limelight. I do think he is a guy who is equipped, like Hoch said, he always has been as a player, to handle that kind of a spotlight. But I think when you look at a guy like Counsell, he's going to weigh these options, and it's going to come down to a lot more than money. And, he, as I mentioned, he lives in Milwaukee year-round. You don't need that much money to live a good lifestyle in Milwaukee year-round. I think if his motivating factor is being somewhere where his legacy can go beyond the Brewers, who seem to get eliminated in the first round every year, if he can be in a place where the owner wants to spend and wants to win no matter what, I think those opportunities are few and far between. He knows he works well with David Stearns. That's a huge piece of it as well. We've seen in San Diego what happens when those relationships really go totally awry. It can really wreak total havoc on the organization. I expect Craig Counsell to go to New York. And then I expect all the rest of the manager dominoes that follow, guys, because he's going to set a new record for manager salary. And I think a lot of places are waiting to see where he goes. And a lot of managers are waiting to see what kind of bar he sets, because it is going to have a ripple effect for years to come.
I'm a little bit nervous about his motivation here. Look, I respect wanting more money. That should not be the deciding factor. If your heart is in Milwaukee and you feel more comfortable there, stay there. If you want the challenge of New York, come here, and then the money will follow. I'm a little worried about this now. All right, Brian, what can you tell us about Carlos Mendoza, another guy who was high on the Mets list?
Yeah, and it's not surprising that Mendoza now doing the rounds here as far as the managerial stuff. I saw a published report that the Padres are talking to him, too. He's diligent, he's personable, he's prepared, he's bilingual. These are all kind of factors that work in his favor. I know that he's one of Aaron Boone's most trusted lieutenants in that dugout, and he's a very important part of what goes on, especially you see him in spring training all the time. He makes the trains run on time. So he's definitely one on top of it. And, you talk to people around the game, they say this is going to be a big league manager in his future. Whether it's right now, is now his time, I'm not sure. And I'm not sure if the Mets is the right opportunity for him. But if I had a team, he's one of the guys I would definitely want to talk to.